What if I told you that the doorway to dissolving your deepest pain, the one you never speak about but silently carry, is hidden right here, in the very center of your chest? Not outside in the world, not in another person, not in a future dream, but in your own heart center. Imagine for a moment the weight of grief, loneliness, rejection, or even self-doubt gently melting away with every conscious touch. And what if, in place of all that pain, something pure entered your being, something so simple yet so powerful: love? For centuries, mystics, sages, and healers have whispered about this secret place, the energetic core we call the heart center. It is said to be the wellspring of compassion, forgiveness, and divine connection. Ancient texts describe it as the throne of the soul, the meeting point between human struggle and eternal grace. Yet in our noisy modern lives, we often forget how close it really is. Just behind the surface of the skin, beneath the rise and fall of every breath, waits the heart, the most sacred temple you already carry. But before we dive deeper, let me ask you something. From where in the world are you watching this right now? I want you to pause for a second and write it down in the comments. Because this is not just my journey, it's ours. Imagine people from different corners of the earth, all uniting in this very moment, all touching the same center of the body, dissolving pain together and opening themselves to pure love. Doesn't that already feel like a kind of invisible bond? Now here's my promise to you. This video will not only show you how to press, rub, and awaken your heart center, it will take you on a journey that is both physical and spiritual. You will discover how a simple act, guided with intention, can soften the sharp edges of old wounds. How your body itself has been holding the key to release, waiting for you to remember. And most importantly, how pure love, unconditional, unshaken, unbroken, can be invited back into your life through a gesture as natural as touching your own chest. Think about it. How many times have you instinctively placed your hand over your heart when overwhelmed, touched your chest when words failed, or felt a heaviness there when life hurt too much? This is no accident. Your body remembers what the mind forgets. Your heart has always been speaking. You just need to listen again. So as we begin, I invite you to take this not as a tutorial, but as a sacred ritual. Every word you hear, every movement you make, is part of something bigger. A soft unraveling of the old pain and a welcoming of something new, something lighter. Let this be your permission to open, to breathe, to feel, because in the next few moments, we are not just talking about dissolving pain, we are stepping into the forgotten temple within you. And once you enter, you may never look at your own heart the same way again. So are you ready to walk with me? Are you ready to touch that hidden center and discover what waits behind the veil of pain? Then let's begin. Have you ever noticed that in the moments of deepest shock, grief, or even joy, your hand almost instinctively rises to your chest? Without thinking, without planning, it just lands there, right over the heart. Some people do this when they hear good news, others when pain feels unbearable, and many without realizing why. It's as if the body itself remembers something ancient, something sacred, that the mind has long forgotten. The heart center has always been a doorway to calm, comfort, and connection. For thousands of years, mystics and healers have whispered about this place, not as a muscle or an organ, but as a temple of energy. In India, they called it the Anahata Chakra, the unstruck sound, a center that vibrates with unconditional love. In Egypt, it was seen as the throne of the soul, where divine wisdom meets human longing. In Greece, philosophers spoke of the cardia, not just as the organ of blood, but as the seat of courage, empathy, and truth. And in the traditions of native peoples, the chest was honored as the sacred fire inside every being, the spark that connects us back to the Great Spirit. Picture, for a moment, an ancient healer teaching his student. He places a hand over his heart, closes his eyes, and says, "Here lies the doorway." When you touch it with awareness, you awaken the river that carries both your pain and your healing. This is how knowledge was passed, softly, through touch, through silence, through presence, not written in books but felt in the body. Now let's bring this into today's world. Modern science has its own language, and though it may not use the word heart center, it points to the same truth. Beneath your chest runs a vast network of nerves, the command system of your body, known as the autonomic nervous system. Among these nerves, one is especially important, the vagus nerve. It runs from your brain, down your throat, across your chest, touching your heart, your lungs, your gut. It's like the great messenger of calm. When you gently press or rub your heart center, you are not only acknowledging a spiritual truth, you are also signaling your vagus nerve. It hears that signal as safety. Your body relaxes, your breath deepens, your heartbeat steadies. It is what scientists call the relaxation response. Whether you believe in energy pathways or not, your nervous system responds in the same way. Touch here, and the body listens. Think of it like a light switch. You may not fully understand how electricity travels through wires, but the moment you flip the switch, the bulb glows. The heart center works in a similar way. Touching it gently, with presence, can flip your body from stress and tension into release and calm. But this place is more than just nerves and muscles. Symbolically, it is the doorway to your emotional and energetic life. This is the gateway through which compassion flows outward and forgiveness flows inward. It's where you store love, but also where you bury grief. It is the bridge between giving and receiving, between holding on and letting go. Many people describe the heart center as the hidden temple we carry everywhere, a place that waits patiently for us to remember its power, and maybe deep down, you've already felt it. Think back, when was the last time you placed your hand on your chest without thinking? Maybe you were praying. Maybe you were overwhelmed. Maybe you were touched by kindness. In that moment, what did you feel? A soft warmth? A quiet comfort? A sudden release of tears? This is your body's way of reminding you. The heart remembers. I'd love for you to share this with me. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you instinctively touched your chest? What did it mean for you? Write it in the comments. Your story might open the doorway for someone else watching right now. So this technique, the gentle rubbing, pressing, or simply resting your hand on your heart center, is not a trick. It's not a trend. It is a return to the wisdom your body has always carried, the wisdom your ancestors practiced, and the wisdom science now quietly confirms. And as we sit with this awareness, as we remember what this point truly means, the natural next step is to understand how this connection between spirit and science deepens, how this single center can send ripples through your entire body and mind, dissolving pain and awakening love in ways you may have never experienced before. Have you ever wondered why just a single touch at the center of your chest can bring you a wave of calm? It almost feels mysterious, as though there's magic beneath the skin. Ancient healers would call this the heart temple, the place where spirit lives. But modern science, in its own language, points to the very same truth. Beneath your hand lies a hidden command center, your nervous system, quietly shaping the way you feel every single moment. The nervous system is like the silent music of the body. It has two rhythms, one for survival and one for peace. The first is called fight or flight. When the body senses danger, your heart races, your breath shortens, and your muscles tighten. The second is called rest and digest. When your body finally feels safe, your breath deepens, your heartbeat slows, and your mind softens. Touching the heart center can shift you between these states. Imagine it like changing the soundtrack of your body, from a pounding drumbeat of stress into a gentle lullaby that rocks your whole being into calm. At the heart of this process is a remarkable messenger, the vagus nerve. This nerve begins in the brain and travels down through your throat, across your chest, touching the heart, the lungs, even the gut. Some scientists call it the wandering nerve, but I like to think of it as the bridge of calm. Whenever you gently rub or press the area over your heart, this nerve receives the signal. You are safe now, and the body responds. Your heart rate begins to slow. Your breath deepens without effort. Sometimes you even feel an unplanned sigh of relief. You've likely felt it before. Think of the moment you finally sat down after a stressful day, and your body exhaled as though it had been holding its breath for hours. That sigh that melts into stillness, that's the vagus nerve doing its quiet work. And the heart center is one of its gateways. But there is more here than just nerves and muscles. Around every human being is something science now calls the biofield, a subtle electromagnetic field created by your body. And guess where it is the strongest? Not in the head, not in the hands, but around the heart. When your emotions are chaotic, this field becomes jagged, contracted. When your emotions are calm, loving, or grateful, this field expands, harmonizes, and even synchronizes with the people near you. You might say your heart is not only beating inside of you, it is broadcasting into the space around you. So when you touch your heart center, you are doing two things at once. On a biological level, you are signaling your nervous system to shift into peace. On an energetic level, you are harmonizing the invisible field your heart creates. The result? A body that feels safe, a mind that feels clear, and a spirit that feels open. And here's the most reassuring part. This works whether or not you believe in chakras, energy, or mysticism. Because your nervous system is not asking for belief, it is asking for presence. The simple act of slowing down, breathing deeper, and touching your chest is enough to reset the body's stress response. It lowers stress hormones, helps the heart beat more coherently, and gently invites your emotions to soften. Think about your own life for a moment. Can you remember a time when you placed your hand on your chest without even thinking and suddenly felt calmer? Maybe during prayer, maybe during loss, maybe when you simply didn't know what else to do. That was not random. That was your body remembering its own wisdom. I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. Your memory may awaken someone else who is watching right now. So, what feels mystical to the ancients and what feels logical to scientists? Turns out to be one and the same truth. The heart center is a bridge between body and spirit, between biology and energy, between your inner chaos and your inner calm. And now that you understand this connection, not only as an idea, but as a living process in your own body, the next step is to feel it directly. To learn the gentle way of touching, pressing, and breathing that awakens this doorway within you. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Let the world around you soften. This isn't something you have to perform. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about allowing yourself to arrive. Arrive here, in this moment, in this breath. In your own body, sit as comfortably as you can. If you're in a chair, let your feet rest gently on the ground, feeling the earth holding you. If you prefer to lie down, let your spine melt into the surface beneath you. There is no right or wrong, just what feels safe, what feels steady. Now take a slow breath in. Let it fill your lungs. Let your chest expand. And exhale softly, as if you are releasing a weight you've carried all day. Do this 2 more times, breathing in and letting go. Breathing in and letting go. Your environment doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need candles, music, or silence. All you need is this simple truth. You are here, and your presence is enough. Now bring your attention to the center of your chest. Not to the left where the physical heart beats, but right in the middle, at the level of your sternum. This is your energetic heart, your inner doorway. Some call it the heart center, others the Anahata chakra. For now, simply call it home. Place your right hand gently over this spot. Or if it feels more natural, rest both hands there, one on top of the other. Notice the warmth of your palm against your chest. Notice how your body responds just to this simple touch. Perhaps there's a softening, perhaps a stirring, perhaps nothing at all. Whatever it is welcome. Imagine your hand is not just touching skin, but opening a doorway into the most sacred temple you carry. With each breath, this doorway begins to respond. Now let the hand begin to move, slowly, gently, as if tracing small circles across your chest. Don't rush, don't force. Let it be tender like comforting a child. Let each circle follow the rhythm of your breath. Inhale one soft circle. Exhale another. If circles don't feel natural, you may simply rest your hand still or gently tap with your fingertips. The shape doesn't matter. What matters is your intention. As you rub, whisper silently within yourself. On the inhale, release. On the exhale, love. Inhale, release. Exhale, love. Let your hand become a messenger, reminding your heart it is safe now. You can open. Let us deepen this with the breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently for 2 counts. And then exhale through your mouth, long and smooth, for 6 counts. Continue like this. In for 4, hold for 2, out for 6. As you breathe, imagine the air moving not just through your lungs, but directly through your heart center. With every inhale, light flows in. With every exhale, pain dissolves. If you wish, let out a soft hum on the exhale, a gentle Feel the vibration in your chest resonating beneath your hand. Let this sound remind your body that you are alive, that your heart is listening. Now, as the hand continues its motion, I invite you to notice what feelings arise. Perhaps there is a heaviness that begins to soften. Perhaps an old memory flickers at the edge of awareness. Perhaps tears rise or warmth spreads through the chest. This is not wrong. This is not weakness. This is release. Your body remembers what the mind forgets. It has carried grief, loneliness, rejection, self-doubt. And now, through this simple ritual, it is being told, you can let go. Let whatever comes, come. Let it move through you, not against you. There is no need to resist. And now, in this open space, we invite something new, something pure. Imagine with me. As your hand rubs softly over your chest, a gentle light begins to bloom beneath it. Perhaps golden, perhaps green, perhaps the color of dawn, when the world feels innocent again. This light is love. Not the fragile kind that depends on another's approval, not the fleeting kind that vanishes with circumstance, but a steady, unconditional love. The kind that was always yours, waiting beneath the pain. With every breath, this light expands. With every rub, it fills the cracks. Whisper softly to yourself, or simply feel the truth of these words. I open myself to love. I am love. Slowly let your motion begin to quiet. The circles grow smaller, softer, until finally your hand rests still upon your chest. Keep it there. Feel the warmth of your palm. Feel the quiet pulse beneath your skin. Take 3 more deep breaths, as if thanking your heart for its courage. Inhale light. Exhale release. Inhale love. Exhale trust. Now simply pause. Eyes closed. Hand resting. Notice how you feel. Perhaps lighter, perhaps calmer, perhaps more connected, or perhaps simply present. That is enough. This is not an escape. This is not a trick. This is a return to yourself, to your heart, to the love that was always waiting. Carry this sensation with you, even after your hand leaves your chest. For the heart does not close once awakened, it remembers. And when life feels heavy again, when words fail and pain weighs you down, remember this simple ritual. Place your hand, rub gently, breathe, release, invite love, because the temple is always here. And the doorway is always waiting. Every tradition has whispered of a secret place within us, a place that holds the key to peace and love. Some call it a temple, some a throne, some a doorway, but all agree it lives in the heart. When you placed your fingers gently against your chest in the last practice, you were not just touching your skin. You were stepping into a river of wisdom that has flowed through humanity for thousands of years. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that river. Mystics, sages, seekers from every land, all gathering around the same truth. Different languages, different rituals, yet pointing to the same center, the heart, the doorway to something greater. In the yogic traditions of India, this place is called the Anahata Chakra. The word Anahata means unstruck sound, a vibration that exists before anything has touched it, pure and eternal. It is described as a green lotus with 12 petals, glowing in the center of the chest. To awaken it is to awaken compassion, forgiveness, and balance. Yogis say that when the heart chakra opens, you no longer live only for yourself. You live as a vessel of love that flows outward endlessly. In Christian mysticism, the image of the Sacred Heart shines brightly. You may have seen it in paintings, a heart wrapped in thorns, yet glowing with fire and radiance. It symbolizes love that endures even through pain, mercy that survives even after betrayal. For Christians, to touch the heart is to touch the place where divine love meets human suffering, and where suffering is transformed into grace. The Sufi mystics of Islam speak of the qalb, the heart, as the mirror of God. They say the heart is like a polished glass. When clouded by fear, anger, or ego, it reflects nothing. But when polished with remembrance and love, it becomes so clear that it reflects only the divine. To rub the heart center, to breathe gently into it, is to polish that mirror again, to see not only yourself, but the beloved shining through you. Even among indigenous traditions around the world, the heart is seen as the drumbeat of life. Many First Nations peoples describe the heart as the bridge between human and earth, where the pulse of blood echoes the pulse of the planet itself. When you connect with your heart, you are not separate. You are dancing with the heartbeat of the universe. Isn't it remarkable? Across oceans and centuries, cultures that never met all spoke of this same place. The language may differ, but the truth remains. The heart center is the meeting point of heaven and earth, of self and spirit. The heart is not only an organ that pumps blood. It is the throne of the soul, the place where you feel life most intensely. Every beat is not just circulation, it is prayer. With every pulse, your body is whispering, "I am alive, I am alive, I'm alive." Think of how often we use the heart as a symbol in daily life. We place our hand over it when we pledge, when we grieve, when we celebrate. We draw its shape when we mean love. We say, "My heart is heavy," when we carry pain, and "my heart is light" when joy enters. The heart is the bridge between mind and soul, between earth and sky, between me and you. When you touch it, you are not just calming yourself. You are stepping onto that bridge. You are standing in the middle of a sacred crossing. But what happens when you actually rub, press, and awaken this center? What truly shifts inside? Something magical, something alchemical. When you touch your heart, you're not only soothing old wounds, you are transforming them. The grief that once felt like a stone begins to dissolve into wisdom. The fear that froze you begins to melt into courage. The loneliness that once echoed in your chest begins to open into divine connection. This is the inner alchemy of the heart. The act of turning one substance into another, not lead into gold, but pain into love. It is the most sacred transformation of all. And it happens not by force, not by logic, but by presence. By simply showing up for your own heart with your own touch. Mystics say that when you release pain from the heart, you do not lose anything. You only make space, and into that space enters compassion, forgiveness, joy. It is as if the heart was never empty at all. It was simply waiting for you to open the door. So I ask you, softly, which of these images touched you most deeply? Was it the Sacred Heart blazing with fire? The Anahata lotus glowing green, the Sufi mirror reflecting divine light, or the drumbeat of the earth pulsing through your chest? Pause for a moment and notice what stirred inside you as you heard these stories. Did you feel warmth, a tingle, perhaps even a tear? Tell me in the comments, because your answer is not just for me, it is for the circle of people watching alongside you. From different places, different lives, all gathering here, all touching the same center. When you touched your chest earlier, you were not alone. You joined a timeless human ritual, a sacred remembering. And now, as we move forward, you will learn not just how to practice this daily, but how to let it reshape your future, your sleep, your calmness, even the way you meet the world. The heart is not only where pain dissolves, it is where love begins again. You might be wondering now, how do I carry this into my daily life? The good news is, you don't need hours, rituals, or special tools. All you need is a quiet pause, a gentle touch, and a willingness to listen to your own heart. This isn't another task to add to your to-do list. It is a gift, a small moment of care you offer yourself, like watering a plant or lighting a candle in the dark. Here's a simple practice you can begin today. Sit comfortably, wherever you are. Place 2 fingers softly in the center of your chest. Begin to rub in a slow, small circle, just as you've learned. Breathe deeply, 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Do this 3 to 5 times. As you breathe, imagine warmth glowing beneath your fingers, spreading through your chest like sunlight. Let it fill you, even if only for a minute. That's all it takes. 1 minute in the morning, before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. 1 minute before bed, as your body prepares for rest. 1 minute when stress rises, when your thoughts race, or when your heart feels heavy. Even standing in line or sitting in your car, you can return to this center quietly, without anyone noticing. Over time, these moments add up. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, changes begin to unfold. Sleep deepens. The sharp edges of stress soften more quickly. The emotional waves that once felt overwhelming become gentler, easier to ride. And perhaps most beautifully, your relationships begin to shift. A little more patience, a little more compassion, a little more love flowing outward. It won't happen overnight. But like water smoothing stone, each gentle touch shapes you. Each pause rewires your nervous system, teaching your body what it means to live in peace again. And as the weeks pass, you may realize something extraordinary. The practice isn't only dissolving pain, it is awakening love, pure, simple, steady love. The kind that flows from you into the world without effort. This is the beginning of your new rhythm. And from here, our journey takes its final step. What if, for a moment, you simply allowed yourself to rest here, quiet, complete, and whole? You've walked with me through this journey, and in doing so, you've already taken a step few dare to take, a step inward, into the sanctuary of your own heart. Even your presence here is an act of courage, and for that I honor you. As we close this practice, let the stillness you feel now linger like the fading echo of a sacred bell. Nothing has been lost. Everything you touched here stays with you. The energy you awakened at your heart remains, gentle, alive, and waiting to be called upon. This is not just a technique. It is a key, and you now carry it with you everywhere you go. Imagine it like a flame, quietly burning in the center of your chest. You don't need a special room, a special time, or anyone's permission to return to it. Whether you are about to face a difficult conversation, step into a crowded room, or simply lay your head down to sleep, this point is here, an eternal doorway back to balance. Carry it into your days like a secret gift. Place your hand here when you feel restless. Breathe into it when you feel joy and want to expand it. This point is yours, and in every touch you remind yourself you are not alone, and peace is never far. And imagine just for a moment how life begins to feel when this practice becomes part of you. The weight of stress doesn't grip you so tightly. The sharp edges of emotions begin to soften. The people you meet sense a quiet strength in you, even before you speak. Slowly, like the first light of dawn, your life reshapes itself. You begin to move with the rhythm of your heart, steady and sure, as if something greater has always been guiding you home. Transformation doesn't arrive like a storm. It unfolds like roots deepening beneath the soil, unseen but unshakable. And with every gentle touch to this point, you water those roots. Trust that the shift is happening, even if it feels small. Over time, the subtle becomes powerful, and if this moment has opened something in you, I invite you to walk further with me. Here at the Spine Gospel, we continue to uncover practices, hidden teachings, and sacred ways of returning to the self. If today's journey touched you, imagine what tomorrow could bring. Subscribe, and if you feel called, leave a super thanks to keep this light alive, not just for you, but for all those who seek it. Before we part, I ask you, what did you feel in your heart during this practice? Did something stir or soften or awaken? Share it in the comments. I would love to know. And now, let us close with a blessing. May your breath remain steady, may your heart remain open, and may the quiet flame within you never fade. Carry it with you into the night, into the day, and into every step of your becoming.